Alright, so we're back. So far, we have the entirety of the head done as such, and now we're going to move on to the body. So, I think we're kind of going to start from the waist and then kind of go up from the bottom. So, this is what we're going to do. First, we're going to take some green clay, and we're kind of going to squish it into kind of like a square, but it doesn't really have to be a square, just kind of the general shape. As always, we're going to kind of make sure that's a good size, which that's kind of a little too, I don't know, too fat it seems like, but we're going to kind of add stuff, so it's okay. Link is kind of a bulky guy, so, you know. Alright, maybe a little bit longer, maybe something like that. And then I'm kind of just going to pinch up the top a little bit. Alright, so, I've got something like that. I think that's pretty good. Maybe take a little bit off the bottom. Alright, cool. So, this might not look like a lot right now, but after we add on kind of his arms and stuff, it'll definitely look like, you know, Link will be proportionate as he is in the artwork. So first what I want to do is kind of attach the head, which I typically wouldn't do, but I feel as though it's the next logical step in doing this, kind of because we need the head to kind of start forming the details on the shirt, like his collar and stuff. So we got this, and I'm going to kind of make a small hole. I think we kind of did this with Spike a little bit. A small kind of perforation right, right where the head is going to go, and the neck. So we got that. And you just kind of make sure it's a good size. It's pretty good. So see, you should kind of, there should be a little indent right there. So make sure it's not too far down, but make sure it's kind of, deep enough so that we can put some white clay in there, which is actually what we're going to do right now. So if I can find my white, which I don't know where it is, here it is. Alright. So what we're going to do now is literally just put a little bit of white. In fact, I might even want to pull this up more because I really don't want the white to kind of bleed down. We're just going to put a little bit of white kind of in that little pocket. So it's going to look like this. And then we can kind of push and pull the clay as we desire, because, you can kind of do that. So I'm just going to pull it a little bit farther down, kind of like that. Pull it around to the side. So we got this going on. Alright, cool. So what we want to do now is extend the neck on Link. So to do that, take some more peach color, and I'm just going to kind of gently using my fingers. Be careful not to smudge his face or anything, but I mean, we kind of have to do this now. We're going to extend Link's neck, and actually, I think we're going to run into a problem with the hat. The hat kind of getting in the way of the body and stuff. So mine's actually kind of cracking now. So I guess you can kind of pull it off like that. Hopefully it'll rip that easy, and then we can just easily put it back on after. But I wasn't really expecting trouble to ensue with the hat. So anyway, we kind of got this going on right now, which is clearly way too big for Link. So I think I'm actually going to cut a little bit of his neck off, just so it's slightly shorter, and we're actually going to go about putting it on right now. So Link has some, that kind of white undershirt that wraps around his neck. So with the length that we have for this Link right here, flatten a piece of clay, put it right at the bottom kind of, and then wrap it around like that. So it kind of creates a little, area that we wrapped around. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do that, and then eventually when we put this on, it'll look a lot better. What I want to do though right now is connected at the bottom but not at the top. So it's kind of like, so it looks like a collar kind of, you know what I'm saying? And now when we put that on, it'll look really good, which we're going to do with a toothpick. If I can find a toothpick here, I really hope I can, because I don't know if I really have any more toothpicks. I think I kind of used them all. Well, I'm gonna. Oh, here it is. All right, good. I was gonna say I'm gonna try this with a toothpick, but I'm glad I found one. All right, so I'm gonna put the toothpick right kind of in the center of this, maybe a little farther down, and then as always, gently. I think the best way to do this is kind of hold Link at the top of his hat with your index finger, and then your thumb and your middle finger around his neck, kind of for some good support, and then gently, right at the bottom here, twist his neck and stuff into this area we just created. So essentially it looks like this, and then we can kind of bring that collar up a little bit because it's actually kind of upward like that, and I'm just going to use my finger and drag it down a little bit because it does kind of extend down, and essentially that creates Link's collar. Maybe push his head down a little bit more, like that. So there we go, or rather Link's undershirt, not so much his collar. And we probably don't need to put this on right now because we're going to be working on the back anyway. But there is one thing I actually want to do completely irrelevant from anything else, but I'm just noticing that the top of Link's hat is a little bit flat, probably from all the kind of times we've been pushing it and stuff. So I'm just going to put some clay at the top here and just use, again, my fingers just to kind of extend his hat at the top a little bit, because it did look like it was lacking and it could have used some more clay. So I'm just going to do that all the way around. Just so when you're looking at him like that, he has some more kind of green on the top. And I'm going to do it again on this side too. Yours may not have had this problem, but mine did, so. Alright. That, I guess, looks good for now. Maybe once we actually put this on, we'll see how the hat looks in the end. I think so far it looks pretty good. Alright, cool. So we got that going on, and I know that his head's a little bit bobbly, but that just kind of goes with the toothpicks and how far in the toothpick went. Mine probably only went right into like the bottom of the head because it wasn't very long. So of course, the longer the toothpick, the better off you kind of are, because it'll go, more into the head, and then you won't have the problem with a bobbly head. But regardless, we should be fine, or at least I should be fine. Alright, so now I want to do the collar of his shirt, like the actual collar. So kind of a long piece, and then we're going to shape it almost like a boomerang. Pinch it at one end, and then flatten it. Kind of like this. And then I guess we're going to kind of pinch it again. So it looks like that. Hopefully I can kind of get this on. I guess we're going to end up taking that first part we pinched off because we need a flat area here, and we don't want it to be really thick because it'll look weird if it's really thick. So just like that. And at this point, and then we're kind of just gonna, probably connect it in the front and the back, not so much pushing down on, the edges that are supposed to be up like a collar. And it might look a little weird now because it's kind of just floating in midair, but once we put on the arms and stuff, they'll naturally fall into place because the collar goes over kind of a bit of his arm. So that's no problem there. We'll do it again. Maybe I'll show it a little bit better. So pinch one side. Pinch one side, pinch the other side, pinch the bottom. So you kind of got two shapes like this. Then flatten it. Then take off that pinched part. And then carefully reform these two areas like that. then we'll put it on the same way. Like this. And then you can kind of just mess with it once it's actually on. Make sure they're somewhat even. I'm going to push it a little bit closer together. And with that said, I'm going to end this at 10 minutes, and we have progressed pretty far actually in the body of Link. So next part, we'll continue on.